We are less than a week away from a new Superman movie at the time of this recording, and fans of DC Comics are hyped, particularly with the involvement of James Gunn. James Gunn has proven himself as a director of great comic book movies and has won over even some of the most loyal fans with his understanding of the source material and his dedication to comic accuracy. Turning complete unknowns into household names, Superman is his chance at an A-list comic character and his chance to bring his love of comics to a new generation, with the DC universe being led by him. While the film is not a direct adaptation of any one storyline, the comic it takes the most inspiration from is All-Star Superman by Grant Morrison and Frank Quitely, and not just in the tone and direction, but in the performances and the design of the film as well. James Gunn made sure that the entire cast and crew read All-Star Superman before actually making the film. Many have talked about how it guided their choices and helped them better understand what James Gunn was looking for, and calling it the guiding light. I had not read All-Star Superman before preparing for this video, but it was one that I knew I wanted to check out before the movie. And after reading it, I can definitely see why it was called a guiding light, both in the literal and metaphorical way of viewing Superman as a character. This is the story of the most powerful man to walk the earth in his final days. Since the character's creation in 1938, Superman has always been a symbol of hope, and that is something that he never forgets. Even in his darkest hours, and will live on in those he inspires. The story begins with Superman on a rescue mission to the sun. Superman's superpowers come from the yellow sun, and he absorbed so much energy that his cells began mutating rapidly. He became faster, stronger, but his time was limited. He could feel himself dying, revealed to be a plot by Lex Luthor, who himself is on death row for crimes against humanity. The Lex Luthor of this story is cold, sadistic, and detached from humanity, making him the inverse to Superman's warm, hopeful view of humanity. The story follows two men facing death and how these moments reflect the lives that they've led. Luthor's demise being the lives he's destroyed, and Superman's being those he chose to save. When faced with his death and accelerated abilities, Superman thinks of all the good that is left to do. And puts as much of it into practice as he can. Not to burden those he loves, he remains unchanged, so that those he must protect do not lose hope. He remains humble in a time when some men may let their ego get the best of them. Lex Luthor, on the other hand, is driven only by ego. An interaction between Superman and Luthor near the end of the story shows that Superman's hope still extends to Luthor, challenging him to do the good he claims he would have accomplished without Superman around. Luthor, not ready to accept what he had done, had stolen a 24-hour super serum that Superman had used to share his powers with Lois Lane on her birthday. So on his execution day, he drinks this as they strap him to the chair. He survives and is able to break out. He then makes his way over to the Daily Planet, who he blames for his sentence. After the serum wears off, Luthor claims he saw how to save the world. Superman, with one final blow, says, "You would have saved the world years ago, if it mattered to you." He stops and gives Lois his final goodbye before sacrificing himself to repair the sun. And guide the light for the rest to follow in his acts. It's almost weird that with how morbid the subject matter is, the story is bright and cheerful throughout. And it really made me think of the Silver Age of Superman while reading it. Getting to see Lois Lane with Superman's powers, Jimmy Olsen becoming a fashion influencer, just has that fun, campy feel. All-Star Superman does a great job of pulling the best from all eras of Superman and carries on as an inspiration for those to come. Thank you for watching.